Today I wanted to share some stuff with you that I actually had bought for Addison before the losses had happened. And this includes some of the stuff I actually bought for the announcement. I actually have it all stashed away in a box right after the loss happened. We had to hide everything because it really, really hurt seeing everything at first. So we had to put it away in a box, but I actually have the box in my room now. I don't want it hidden away anymore. I just don't want anything hidden. So I'll actually start sharing everything. So we have this little box right here. It's actually the box for my wedding shoes. So it has more than one meaning. So the first thing I actually bought for the announcement for Addison was this little onesie. I wanted something Disney themed for it, and I spent hours online trying to find the perfect onesie that didn't have a gender, wasn't waved towards one gender, and then I found this one and it was perfect for the announcement. And then I searched for the next part. I wanted little mittens and little booties that would be like essentially the mouse mittens and the little shoes Mickey Mouse wears, and then I found these right here, the little mittens. And then we have the little booties that I bought as well. Also bought this adorable little hat from Etsy. All this stuff actually I bought from Etsy. And I bought this little hat. And I fell in love with it when I first saw it. It was so cute on the pictures of the babies, and I was just imagining when I would get to bring my baby home and actually get to see my baby in this hat. So I was very excited about that one. And then this part will be the hardest part. But these are my most favorite things I have. The first ultrasound pictures. And then the last one I got. Starting to cry a little. But I remember the day I got the first ultrasound, I was so happy and so relieved to finally see the baby and know that my baby was okay. But I was even relieved the second time I got an ultrasound. Well, actually it was the third, but the second time I saw my baby, I was so relieved to actually see my baby moving around and wiggling, and it's probably one of my most favorite memories, and I feel very, very blessed that I got that appointment because, like I said before, they had a cancellation and they were able to get me in, because other than that they would not have been able to get me in at all for at least another week or so. And I feel very blessed. Like, I was supposed to get that appointment because that was the last time I ever saw the baby moving. Well, the first and last time I ever saw my baby moving, and I'm very lucky to have gotten that, because other than that I would have just gotten the first ultrasound when I saw my baby's heart. But it was probably the best experience I ever had, seeing my baby move around and scooch up and down, and it was so cute. I just kept looking over to Corey and saying, "Oh my gosh, look at how cute our baby is moving around." And I asked him to record it, but unfortunately his phone was awful at recording, so we have no good video of it. It's just all my memory. But I think I was meant to get that appointment. It was nice to see my baby moving and stuff, but also it makes it a little hard thinking that, 4 days ago my baby was just moving, and now my baby's right here. And actually, when I went to the emergency room the day that I lost the baby, the doctor told me that she was going to examine me first, and then she was going to do an ultrasound after. And then the nurse was with her the entire time. And after I lost the baby, we were in the room for maybe 10 minutes alone. And then the nurse came back in and she's like, "Oh, was the doctor going to do an ultrasound?" And I think she realized, like, we can't do an ultrasound anymore. It was just so hard that, thinking 1 minute my baby was there, and then the next they were gone. And it's it's terrible because I remember my first emergency room visit, we were sitting there for, I don't know, 6 hours almost. And it made me so upset and so mad because we were sitting there waiting, and I had to wear a mask over my face the whole time because I didn't want to catch anything anybody else had in there. So we were just sitting there, and then I would see people go in, people who didn't even look sick, people who were just sitting there laughing, joking with whoever they were with, going to the back for whatever known reason. And I was sitting out here worried about what was going on with my baby, and it made me sad because my baby wasn't being considered an an urgency. There was no urgency to, I think my baby was maybe, oh, yeah, 11 weeks at that time. There's no urgency to get an 11-week baby in, but there's some urgency to get in a guy who was there for 20 minutes sitting there laughing with his wife. And it made me so mad and so frustrated. And finally, when I got in, they wouldn't even let me see the ultrasound. They hid the screen from me. The lady told me they couldn't show me anything. They couldn't tell me anything. The doctor, thankfully, was nice enough. But then I got that awful packet saying threatened miscarriage. And that packet just devastated me. But the doctor told me I was going to be okay. My doctor told me I was going to be okay a couple days later. And then 4 days later, that happened on the 18th. I just remember the morning of, I had to make sure because I would listen to my baby's heart beat to be like sure that they're okay, and it would comfort me. But that morning, the baby's heart was just racing so fast, and it just makes me scared thinking that I don't know why their heart was going so fast, why it was racing. But then right before we left to the hospital, I couldn't find it anymore. And I told Corey, I think that this is it. I think that the baby's gone. And I told him the same thing when we were in the hospital because the bleeding was so bad. And I told him, Corey, I think this is it. I think that our baby is gone. And I mean, he was positive the whole time. But part of me just felt like it had happened. And then when I felt that pressure come out of me, I knew it. And I kept telling Corey, don't look. Because it was right next to him. He's sitting in the corner, and the doctor had a little table right next to him, and she asked her nurse for a scalpel to cut into it to see what it was, and then she looked at me and told me that I had lost the baby. And I just remember I was calm before then. I wasn't crying at all, but then when she said those words, it just all came out. And same with Corey, he ran over to my side, and he hugged me and he started crying too. And then we shared it with our family and friends because we told him earlier we were going to the emergency room, and we shared that we had lost the baby, and we got so much love and support that day. But that's probably the worst day of my entire life. And that was my first experience with death, was my own baby. And then a couple weeks later, I actually had an aunt pass away too. So within 2 weeks, I experienced my first two experiences with somebody passing away. It's the most difficult. It was the worst month last month. I will never forget March 2014. But that's what I wanted to share with you today. I want to share a little bit of my baby stuff, and I want to share my story about the emergency room and how angry and how hurt and how sad I was. There might be a couple more videos on the emergency room because there's more that I didn't talk about, like what was going on in the room and stuff. But thank you all so much for watching this again. Thank you so much for the support.